While camping, Liam felt the ground pulse beneath his tent. The trees around him creaked, not from wind, but rhythm. He realized the forest was breathing. Their shadows stretched and twisted like fingers reaching for the sky. But as the forest grew darker and the whispers grew louder, he knew he had to escape. "Stay with us," they hissed, their icy fingers digging into his tent. "Stay with us, forever." Panic surged through Liam, but he pushed it down, refusing to let the forest break him. The trees stood still, their branches bare, their leaves scattered on the ground like 1,000 tiny eyes staring back at him. He looked up at the trees, searching for the source of the voice, but saw nothing but leaves rustling in the wind. Had it all been a dream? Was he really alone? He reached out to touch the rough bark of a nearby tree, but as his fingers made contact, he gasped. The bark had eyes. They stared back at him, cold and soulless, and he could feel their gaze boring into him, even after he turned away. He ran, crashing through the underbrush, desperate to escape the forest and the nightmare it held within. But no matter how far he ran, the feeling that he was being watched never left him. The forest that breathed was alive, and it wanted him to stay. He spent the night huddled in his tent, listening to the whispers, counting the seconds until dawn. He unzipped his tent and ran, crashing through the underbrush, branches whipping at his face. But as he ran, he realized the forest was changing. The whispers became a chorus, their icy fingers now clawing at his tent. "Stay with us!" they screamed, their voices echoing through the trees. "Stay with us forever!" Just as Liam's hope began to dwindle, the whispers stopped, and in the eerie silence that followed, he heard a voice, a single voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Stay with us," it whispered, its voice soft yet commanding. "Stay with us, and we will show you the truth." Just as Liam began to lose hope, the voice offered him a choice that promised answers, but at what cost? The trees seemed to lean towards him, their branches forming a maze that twisted and turned with every step he took. No matter how fast he ran, he couldn't escape the feeling that something was watching him, that the forest itself was trying to keep him there. As the wind picked up, the trees began to whisper, their voices raspy and low, like the rustling of dead leaves underfoot. But as the night deepened, the whispers grew louder, forming words that sent shivers down Liam's spine. "Stay with us," they hissed, their icy fingers digging into his tent. "Stay with us, forever." On the first night, fear turned to fascination as Liam watched the trees swaying in the moonlight. Terrified, Liam huddled in his tent, desperately trying to ignore the voices. On the second night, the whispers started again, slithering through the darkness like poisonous snakes. As the third night approached, the forest grew colder. The next morning, Liam woke up to find the forest silent.